I wanted this video to be centered around forgiveness. Because in order to move forward with your healing process, you have to not only forgive yourself, but others. I'm confronting the issues head on. I'm forgiving myself for the mistakes that I made. Forgiveness is like the greatest gift that we can give to ourselves. There's nothing wrong with just being who you are. I'm moving on as an adult, as a healthy 30-year-old person who can finally tap in. And when you let that go, you let go of all of the weight that had on you and on your heart. Good morning, family. I know it has been a long time since I've posted. I have a lot to catch you guys up on. So we're gonna make some tea. We're gonna sit outside because the weather has finally gotten better. It's been raining and snowing in SoCal for the last couple of days. We're continuing the healing series, so let's grab some tea and let's go sit outside and chat.
All of me is yours, every part of me. 'Cause we're in this together now. You and me together now.
Okay guys, so I hope the audio won't be too weird because I did decide to come sit outside to talk to you guys. There's been so many things going on since the last video. The last video did really well for my channel. It's obviously like not a lot compared to really big YouTubers or anything like that, but I did get the most views I've ever gotten on any video, and part of me was like, how do I follow up? What do I say next? Because I wasn't sure how that video was going to be received. Would it be well received? Would it not be well received? And so when it was well received, I think I started to just not really know how to make this next video still be as good. And then I start going down the rabbit hole of, oh my gosh, I can't post anything unless it's as good as ridiculous, right? So I wanted this video to be centered around forgiveness. So the reason why I wanted to do this next video on forgiveness is because it's been such a pivotal portion of my healing process. I really feel like over the last year, I've been able to pour into myself by letting go of my childhood traumas, by deciding to have a lengthy 5-hour conversation with my family about things that happened or occurred, whatever you want to say, while I was a kid that may have somewhat affected me. I think truthfully, one of the biggest things that I want you guys to take away from this video is in order to move forward with your healing process, you have to not only forgive yourself, but others, because everybody is going to go through some kind of childhood trauma. Some more than others, some more radical, some more internal, some more external, whatever the case may be. But we all go through traumas as children. Some of those traumas we realize and we rectify as we become adults, and some of those we carry with us throughout our lives, and they go unchecked and can become quite an issue if we really allow it to. So one of the things that I really wanted to do was to really tackle my trauma by allowing myself the space, the room, the time to kind of grieve the old person that I was, really try to get to just some understanding, not necessarily like, okay, because all this happened, XYZ needs to happen now. No, it was more like, okay, we've accepted these are the issues that we had. I'm confronting the issues head on. I'm forgiving myself for the mistakes that I made, the unintentional mistakes that my parents may have made, and we're moving on. I was watching another YouTuber and I saw that she had written that forgiveness is like the greatest gift that we can give to ourselves. And so I really just had to like forgive myself for being too hard on myself all these years, for being a people pleaser, for being someone who found a lot of solace in who she was in the recognition of others, especially my parents. And now that I'm where I am mentally and on this journey of healing, I have come to fully understand that I need to forgive parts of myself that I allowed to beat me up for far too long, because now I have to heal those things. And now I have to focus on, okay, I had a lot of body image issues. Where did those stem from? Where did those come from? Okay, I had a lot of issues surrounding needing to be successful, needing to be a very independent woman. Where did those come from? How can I heal those things? And so I had a lot of conversations with myself and with my family about, okay, this is what happened and this is how it made me feel and this is where I am today. I just implore that you find within yourself the ability to like let go of things that used to define you, that no longer define you. Remember who you are truthfully on the inside, and then just allow yourself to be, because there's nothing wrong with just being who you are. And maybe that doesn't look like anything like the person you were 2-3 years ago, but this is who you are now, and this is who God made you to be. Through this process of forgiveness, through this process of kind of undoing some things, I've been looking into portions of my natal chart, jumping back to astrology. Your natal chart is basically all of the planetary alignments that you were born under, and one of the biggest issues that I was able to kind of uncover was where my Pluto was and where my Chiron was. For this video, I don't really want to go into too much detail because I've been considering making a whole entire video on healing my Chiron, but my Chiron is in my 6th house of health and daily routines, and those are areas of my life that as a child I had a lot of traumas related to, and also the 6th house in my chart is Virgo, and Virgo rules animals, and so there was a lot of trauma involving animals, and it made me break down when I was learning about my Chiron and how some people will develop eating disorders, some people will become, health fanatics, some will become obsessive compulsive over things. Some people struggle with daily routines and habits as simple as like brushing your teeth and bathing every day. A lot of hurt in regard to like traumatic deaths around animals and pets, which is something I definitely did deal with and probably had a big part of why I went into the field that I did. But as I've learned, okay, this was a portion of my, life where there was going to be struggles and setbacks. I just need to learn how to let go of those things, forgive myself for maybe not understanding them as a younger person, latching on to the wrong thing, especially relationship-wise. I feel like I often projected my issues with myself into me trying to be in relationships, and some people called me boy crazy, but there was really always an underlying issue with that. Most notably that my father was a police officer and, was very dedicated to his career and was not there for a large majority of my childhood. I have a great relationship with my dad, and I don't think that anything per se happened that I knew on a conscious level, but on a subconscious and unconscious level, I think that there were some deficits from not having him always around because he was always working. So there are areas of my life that are tender, and I don't want to go too into detail, but I just want to be as raw as I can be without being destructive. And just understanding that on the road to forgiveness, there is a lot of realizing and reconciliation that has to occur. And you have to just decide, okay, this happened. I dealt with this. I went through this. I may have even put my own self through things. Like, I do believe truthfully, and I don't want to self-diagnose myself, but I do believe that I grew up with an eating disorder, which is a very common sequela that people with Chiron in the 6th house will have. Some become bulimic and some become anorexic. Other people binge eat and overeat, and that has always been my issue, struggling with my weight and going on fad diets and jumping off of them and going back on them again. Just a lot of chaos. But I'm a better person for it now. I'm really focusing on eating as best as I can. I still have my days where I definitely go I shouldn't eat this, but I want this right now. But I'm working on myself, and that's something that I personally have struggled with is food. But I understand these are problems that I have had. These are problems that came up in my childhood. These are problems that I dealt with. And now I'm moving on as an adult, as a healthy 30-year-old person who can finally tap in to herself, tap into what was making her feel like she had to binge food when no one was watching, or who felt like she had to be in all these relationships with these guys, who felt like she had to people please to be worth something, you know? So I'm really working on all of those things, because now I find a lot of peace in understanding that my relationships don't define me, that food doesn't define me, that I have triggers around food, that I realize I don't eat as much when I'm relaxed, and I tend to eat a lot more when I'm stressed. And I'll go sometimes like, today, I didn't even eat today, but at work I'm just like, I need food right now. It's all mental. It's all psychological. But that's the beauty of growth. That's the beauty of healing. You look back, 5-10 years down the line, and you go, wow, this is where I made a change. This is where I decided to no longer allow those things that bogged me down in the past to continue to do so. So I'm really thankful that I have this platform, and I know that there's a lot of other people out there who need a friend, who need someone to help them get through the healing process, and I'm doing that every day. And I'm hopeful that I can continue to be a friend to other people who might need that support as well. Just remember, you are beautiful, you are important, you belong. You don't need to please anyone else but yourself, and I'm working on that every day. At the end of the day, you're all you've got. Your family and your friends, your husband, your siblings, all those people are super important. But you have to really just understand you at a soul level, and bringing it back kind of to where this healing series began was, with the disappointment of my family. But at a soul level, I connected with astrology and tarot, which has opened me up at a soul level of wow, there's this newfound purpose and passion and drive that I never felt before. And I'm tapping in. I have to tap in. And that's what God, has making me go through this healing process for. A lot of people, including myself, get caught up in self-deprecating behaviors because we're not at a soul level dealing with the issues and the hurt that we had as children. But that's what I'm here to rectify. And I do sometimes get a little bit fearful about having my own children and what that might mean for them, because I want to be the best possible parent that I can. Then I mess up my kids even more because I'm trying too hard to avoid the things. So it's a lot. And children is, kind of a subtopic of childhood trauma and perpetuating that through generations. But I just really want to be a better human being so that for future generations, I can kind of be a better person. Highlight what went wrong, what was right, what went good, but also forgiving myself for not always understanding that there was layers and levels to my emotions and how I felt. So I really hope that this message resonated with somebody out there. Just remember to forgive. Forgive those who hurt you intentionally, unintentionally. Forgive yourself for hurting yourself intentionally and unintentionally, because you deserve it. And when you let that go, you let go of all of the weight that had on you and on your heart and on your psyche, and even at a soul level. And then once you forgive, people always ask, should you forgive and forget? I don't necessarily know if you should forget, but I do think that you need to let it go and let it out of your heart, and just understand that you are a brand new person. You are a brand new being. And, cheers to you for finding that way to patch up that hole in your heart that may have even been caused by yourself, because that's a huge one. We have to understand that we are often perpetuating our own cycles by not breaking them. But I'm here today to break mine. And I hope that this message was helpful to you and to yours. And with that, I will catch you guys on the next one. Bye, guys.
'Cause we're in this together now.